Hi everyone and welcome to Australia Let's Do It. As I've mentioned in various videos, we've had a few hiccups along the way trying to get on the road permanently, but now hopefully this is it. And it's now time to pack, and we've got probably about a week and a half left to go before we hit the road, and destination unknown and duration will definitely be back at the end of the trip. So come along and join us for this fantastic adventure. G'day everyone and welcome to the Yorke Peninsula in South Australia. We're here at Port Clinton at the moment, only just arrived, and we just thought we'd show you these phenomenal tides that go in and out of this particular area. And if you look to my right, we've got old mate's tractor over here, and he's about to drive way out to pick up his boat, which we can't even see in the distance. And yeah, we'll see him drive off in a couple of seconds and go to retrieve his boat. And if you look even further, you really can't even see where the horizon meets the sky. It's just absolutely phenomenal. Tides like we rarely ever see. So sit back and come along and join us for a tour of the Yorke Peninsula. It's been several years since my last visit to Yorke Peninsula, so I can't help but wonder what may have changed. The stunning scenery will no doubt be the same, but back then drones were not a very well known or used device, so I'm looking forward to the different perspective that these amazing cameras give. Silo art is sure the go around Australia lately, and how great does it look, and also an interesting tourist attraction. Throughout our travels you're sure to see lots of examples. Port Vincent is a vibrant township and the perfect spot to swim, fish, or just simply kick back and relax. We're still travelling down the eastern coast of Yorke Peninsula. We're told the west is much more spectacular, but so we thought we'd do this coast first, and we'll get to the bottom of the tip and then we'll work our way back up the western coast. So stay tuned. So far we're pretty impressed already, so if it's to get better, well yeah, can't wait. Hey guys, well we're finally down at the bottom of the peninsula, commonly called the Boot. We're in the national park area here. Please don't expect me to pronounce the pronunciation of the national park because I've got no idea, but it's the Yorke Peninsula National Park, let's just call it that, where we believe we're going to run into some pretty special scenery. So stay tuned, here we go. In the early days, Stenhouse Bay and surrounding areas were mined extensively for gypsum and plaster, initially hauled to the jetty by horse and cart, and later replaced with diesel locomotives such as this one. Sit back and enjoy some of the most breathtaking scenery that this national park has to offer. Another noticeable feature is the vast number of lighthouses that we continually come across as we explore this rugged coastline that is well known for its shipwrecks.
So here we are at historic Inniston, and this is a town that was a gypsum mining complex from around 1913 to 1930. There were actually 36 dwellings here. that were homes for 100 men and 30 women. So, and contact to the outside world was mostly by ship, so very isolated. So we should be in for some interesting buildings. Let's go and take a look. Peekaboo! So here we are in the old bakery, and this is where they would have cooked all the bread. It's a huge space, and I reckon this must have been the flue for the chimney. Open it, close it, so controlling the temperature. The fire would have been in here, and I'm just guessing that this would have been the wood box. It's quite big. Quite deep, but there's the most gorgeous design here on the side of a wheat sheaf, and it's been made by F. Metters and Co. makers. And there's also another flue kind of chimney thing there. Very cool. So I'm trying to piece together this fantastic piece of machinery which would have made their lives so much easier, even though it looks like something like a torture mechanism. I'm trying to figure out, I reckon the seat would have been there, and maybe he put his feet there. And these, I would guess, would adjust the height or the depth of the tillers in the ground, which are those pointy things there.
Just a short drive on from Inniston is Ethel Beach, or Ethel Wreck Beach as it's often called. If you're a bit adventurous, there's a nice steep staircase, 110 steps in fact, leading down to the beach. Ethel Beach was named after the Norwegian ship Ethel, which was wrecked and washed ashore here in 1904. A few years later, a second ship, Ferret, also came to grief here in 1920, evidence from these rusty remains. Continuing on, we'll soon get to West Cape, yet another lighthouse. As you saw just a while ago, we reached the most southerly point of Yorke Peninsula. Right here is the most westerly southern point of the Yorke Peninsula. And just check out the scenery. So from now we'll be continuing our way all the way up the western coast. After all this breathtaking scenery and the anticipation of a long-awaited campfire, plus a couple of coldies of course, finally the time's come. Cheers to our first campfire by ourselves in one of the most magical camp spots you'll find. Does it get any better than this? Interesting that in the national park there's still evidence of fishing huts. What a beautiful way to finish the national park area by absorbing this stunning beach at Dolphin Bay. Pity it wasn't a bit hotter for a dip. Okay, now we're out of the national park, it's definitely time to stock up on the firewood. Thank God for the chainsaw. If you haven't got one of these on your van, it's a must-have. An old trusty firebox, and it's one of the handiest things you could have in your caravan. We had a fitted prior to purchase of the van, but I strongly recommend you get one. It's very handy. And as you can see, we've got it over full. We're just heading down to Corny Point to check out the lighthouse. Been told it's pretty spectacular scenery, as just about everything is along this coast. So yeah, let's go and see what it's like.
There's sometimes in a video where no narration is needed, so please take a moment and enjoy this awe-inspiring scenery.
So Anna, what are we cooking here?
Well, today I'm going to have a crack at making banana bread. Today's a day off, so it's kind of fun to do some cooking.
So when the woman starts making the cake, the bloke's got to start getting the barbecue ready. It's always the hint. And just in case you haven't seen these things by Weber, they're a baking tray with a rack and a foil, and this foil, just don't think it's any ordinary foil. It's a special foil designed by them with holes strategically bored and cut and slots, and it circulates the air around this Weber absolutely beautifully. So this is the secret to good baking, whether it be a roast or whether it be a cake. So just place that in there like that. We preheat the oven for around about 15 minutes, and yeah, then we're ready to put the mixture in and sit back and wait. Okay Anna, I've got the Weber on, it's getting ready, preheated. What are you up to?
Okay, so I'm going to mix my flour and sultanas into the banana, egg and brown sugar mix. So what I'm going to do is add a little bit of yogurt because it's just a bit too dry, and the yogurt actually makes it really moist. Now I'll just even it up a little bit, make the top look a bit less like a crater.
You ready, Anna? Got that mixture, Anna? Righto. Whip her in. Bloody lovely. See you in half an hour.
Oh, maybe about 3/4 of an hour. Well, I want like 180 degrees, please.
I've just dialed up 180 degrees. It's called the half moon.
Okay.
Beautiful. Okay guys, while that yummy banana bread's cooking away there, I just thought I'd have a bit of a chat to you about the general camping and everything down on the Yorke Peninsula. Firstly, a few years ago when we visited down here, there were stacks of free camps. But sadly, this day and age, if you think you're going to get free camps, well, I think again, there's basically none. The council now has taken over all the free camps and they're charging a fee. Anything from $10 to $20 a night, just depending on how long you stay. If you stay for a month, works out at $10 a night, but you've got to pay up front, of course. If you stay for one night, it's $20 a night. So yeah, they've got you every which way. And the other area is the national park. You're looking at a minimum of $25 a night. And yeah, there's no such thing as free camping anymore on the Yorke Peninsula. So that was one of the shocks we got, but nevertheless, still I suppose in this day and age, when you consider $20 a night, I suppose we've got to think of that as free these days, the new free camping days. Also, we had a comment on our line by Mark asking, wanting to know what the temperatures were at this time of the year. Now, that's an interesting question, Mark, and thanks for asking. We were travelling in the Yorke Peninsula around mid-April to about the first week of May, and the temperatures we were getting were quite variable, as everything is these days with weather patterns. But we were getting between 19 and about 23 a day. We were lucky, we finally got a beautiful streak of weather there, and it was really good. Night times we were looking at anything from probably about 5 to 13, somewhere around those temperatures. And generally speaking, in autumn time of the year, this is the best time to travel the Yorke Peninsula. Spring's not a bad time either, but summer's definitely a time to forget about. You get some scorching hot temperatures in summer, but yeah, autumn, don't come here before the end of March is the general rule that the locals will tell you, so we abided by that, and yeah, we had a pretty good run. So anyway, just thought we'd keep you up to date with those tips.
So I think my cake's been in for about 40 minutes, so I'm going to give it a little test. The big reveal. I reckon that's pretty good.
You reckon it's good?
That's
exactly what I reckon too.
Yeah, I reckon that's done.
All right, let it cool off a bit.
Yep.
I'll go and throw the drone up and see if we can get some good shots.
What's your favourite place so far, Anna?
Port Vincent, I really like that.
Yeah.
There's lots of favourite places, so not sure.
What about our camp last night?
Oh yeah, that was magic. Yeah, yeah. No, but in terms of little towns, yeah, really enjoying the beautiful sandstone cottages and the iron fretwork on them. It's magnificent.
We're at a place called Moonta Bay, which is actually just north of the exit of the peninsula, technically. And normally that's where you'd finish a Yorke Peninsula video, but we're going to continue on a little bit further and see if there's any more sites between here and Port Augusta. Yorke Peninsula is just all about scenery, no doubt about that. And sorry about overdoing the drone, but look, the drone just says it all the time, so we hope you've enjoyed it so far. we've moved along from lunchtime where we were at Moonta Bay. Pretty much that's the end, as we said back there, of the peninsula, but we moved along hoping we'd see a little bit more. We're at Port Broughton at the moment, and as we see it, we're getting into more commercialisation, more industrial suburbs and everything. So we'll call it a wrap at that. We hope you have a great time. We hope you really enjoyed the video. We'll see you again soon. We're moving on to Eyre Peninsula in our next video. And in the meantime, if you've liked what you've seen, please click on the subscribe and notification button. That'll help us, and it'll also help you know exactly when and where we'll be and where we'll be going. We'll see you soon. Thanks again.